And there we have it. Welcome to the Baxter Effect Podcast. Your host, John Baxter. Another exciting talk today as a pioneer in medbed technology. We have a live testimonial. Likely, we're going to show some demonstrations on how this technology came to be. And of course, throughout this whole conversation, I'm going to talk about what doctors can't say, basically. Doctors won't say this out loud. This is the common theme that you'll find today in our show. I do have a special guest here in another portion of the building. He is doing a live demonstration with our own Don DeJesus, our own personal Jesus. He's a technology guru. He's written many books, and we're going to watch him utilize a medbed demonstration live. I'm super excited about this. So today's talk, we're talking about one truth most doctors can't say out loud. Not because any of them are bad people. It's because the system they work within and for won't allow it. Are we onto something there? So most advice that we get from our doctors don't just treat symptoms. It doesn't go to the root core issue. Symptoms are not mistakes, they're messages. And when a system is designed to just silence the system instead of decode the actual symptoms, people don't get healthier, they get silenced and they get quieter. The system they believed in is giving them answers that are very vague. But who else can they turn to? So reality is today, we're going to break this down in many different directions. I'm super excited. And one of the things that we know is that our system is a sick care system. It goes toward treating symptoms, not going toward figuring out the root cause issue, which takes decoding. And so we're excited, and I'm excited to share this with you. Like, share, comment in the comment box. We'd like to share what you're posting. If you have questions and you want to learn more, post. We'll talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and bring Mr. Don on, and we're going to cover some amazing stuff, guys. And there he is. Hey, Don,
Hello,
how's it
folks.
going?
Good. How are we doing?
Great. What's behind you right now?
This is the hyperbaric oxygen chamber, and this is what we're doing right now. Is I can get a little closer
Well,
here.
let me
So
stop you right there. A hyperbaric chamber doesn't have a screen launching data on it, Don. What exactly is that?
This is part of our Tesla MedBed package series that gives you energy medicine, frequency medicine, and vibrational medicine at the same time as one entourage effect. While he's in the chamber in here, we're doing a couple different things. His body's vibrating with the acoustic vibrations. He's getting everything going on at the same time here. It's a
Well, one
full.
second here, Don. This system is a Backstar MedBed. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a holographic scan MedBed utilizing
Correct.
Tesla technology.
Based off of Tesla's quote, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. So what we did is combine those modalities together. The energy he's getting is the hyperbaric oxygen from 22% oxygen to 93% oxygen at 1.5 atmospheres. And the frequency he's getting is through our bioscanner. It's scanning his body now, and it's also meta correction. So not only are we scanning, we're doing a metabolism correction to restore the energy and the frequency inside the cells, all at the same time, while getting binary acoustic beats to frequency music that we got playing on the whole inside the chamber. And this over here is the first wave of it. This is our celestial chamber. Which it is you get on this first because this is part of the circuit that we call the longevity circuit. Is this infrared therapy, whole body vibration. It's doing 9 different modalities at once. And then we stack it also. We put the hydrogen, so they're getting hydrogen breathing at the same time. 10 minutes in this is compared to a 1 hour workout. So when you're breathing that oxygen, it's like a superhuman workout. And you're breathing the hydrogen and oxygen. And that's this circuit, according to artificial intelligence, will reverse aging in 1 year. It'll reverse your biological clock 10 years. If you're doing the hydrogen, drinking the hydrogen water every day, if you're getting grounded every day, and you're doing the celestial chamber 3 times a week, this is gonna, anybody overweight, this is extremely powerful to help people that are overweight, because it's giving you the infrared therapy. It's doing a lot of things at the same time. And then over here, we start you out for a half an hour in here. This is gonna open up your cells, and then we move you over to here. This, again, this is the future of medicine. This is alternative medicine using nothing but nature, natural forces of life, energy. He's grounded in there. This electron nutrition, oxygen, all natural nature's forces that we're trying to use to compile these packages of longevity. And that's part of this longevity circuit that you're seeing here live right now. John?
Nice, Don. Yeah, so this falls in line kind of on the thing where we can contrast what doctors can't talk about and systems and understanding symptoms can create the future of healthcare. So one of the things that we know is that doctors aren't taught to restore systems per se. They're taught to stabilize the crisis, right? Because like there's a system in crisis, but there's also symptoms. Symptom management doesn't get to anything to do with the issue within the system. And so when we look at this system that you have here, how does this compare to restoring your system versus just stabilizing a crisis?
Well, hospitals are great at applying band-aids. They're not great at resetting the terrain. They're emergency medicine, and they're really designed to fast food healing, just the band-aid. They're not going to teach you, for example, if your gallbladder is compromised, they're not going to teach you how to reset, detox, and repair your gallbladder. They're just going to tell you you have to take it out. And that's the mystery with the pharmaceutical medicine. They're not really in the...
Have you ever heard of someone cleaning out their system with what you perceive as this health technology? If someone had a liver or a gallbladder, we hear of people having uterus issues, uterine things in regards to fibroids. We hear all these stories about how organs and systems get mangled, but the option in the current system is to chop it out like a part, stick a new part in. But is that even necessary or recommended? And how would this per se thing that restores the system do something different?
Yeah, what we're looking at here, the hyperbaric oxygen chamber, is one of the #1 healing modalities on the entire earth. Right beside it would be the hydrogen oxygen generator. These are 2 modalities of healing that give you layers and layers of healing instantly in the blood, instantly systemic. It's happening throughout your entire body. Every organ's being affected when you're inside the hyperbaric oxygen chamber instantly, because it's like being under pressure and all that weight doing a scuba dive. That's what the atmospheric pressure means. But instantly layers of healing, John.
Well, when you talk about restoring a system, when you say, is there more than one thing happening while they're in there? I know you mentioned that earlier, but how does that tie to an improved system?
Yeah, when you're in the hyperbaric oxygen chamber, it is systemic, meaning it is affecting every organ, every cell, every ounce of your body. We talk about it in the book. Brian Johnson just did a 6-month study. He's one of the pioneers in longevity. And he did a 6-month study with and you can click on the link and you can see his whole video on this in the ebook. But he did a 6-month study on the hyperbaric oxygen chambers, John, and it literally took his telomeres to the age of a 10-year-old by following this circuit. Like I said, the hyperbaric oxygen chamber is one of the best on the earth. Did I?
Oh, this is exciting. So one of the things that we oftentimes see is that when the body has symptoms, you don't have a problem with your body. If the body can't create a symptom, then you can never tell what's wrong with it. Am I right? Like pain, if I feel pain, that's a symptom. I know something in that area has an issue. The current system doesn't think like that. They see the pain as just the pain, and to remove the feeling of pain, but they don't go toward actually figuring out why and what happened with that pain and how you could alter it. You said earlier forces of nature in this system. Can you break that down?
Oxygen is the number one element that we all need to survive. And this here, in this particular unit, you're going from 22% oxygen to 93% oxygen plus right there at the port of your mouth. So your oxygen levels are raising up. You're filling your blood with oxygen, and you're saturating it with these under pressure too. So it's instantly absorbing deeper into the cells where it's hard to get, where you're lacking oxygen, it's called hypoxia, and you're missing that oxygen in those areas. This helps you get, like, for example, somebody that has lymphedema in their legs, this is going to help them get the oxygen to get that circulating in there, especially with the whole body vibration, with the music vibrating all their cells. This is going to help flush the clogged arteries, help flush the clogged lymphatic system, help flush out the lymph nodes that are all heavy metal detoxed and all. Your lymph nodes are like the police station or the TSA agent at the airport. They're checking everything, and they're anything trying to go through, they're going to clog it and lock it up in there. And that's why when you go to doctors, they're checking your neck for the lymph nodes to see if they're swollen. That's because they're like the police agents of the body, and they're trapping all this bacteria in these lymph nodes. But then it got to be flushed out, and that's the problem. Everybody's backed up. All these scans that we see a tremendous amount of backups. Lymph nodes are backed up, clogged arteries, lymphatic systems, sticky blood, sticky lymphatic system. It's systemic because people have too much sugar and too much flour. And again, we were not designed ever to have one drop of sugar or one drop of flour. John?
Well, what we realize today in the healthcare sector is that the typical standard of care realizes that the symptom, which there's many systems in the body, right? There's the lymphatic system, there's the nervous system, there's the blood system, there's the lymphatic and hormonal system, there's the respiratory system, right? They're all independent systems, yet we don't understand them in the current model of mainstream health. Of course, we're looking at symptoms and masking symptoms, or stopping a symptom, which creates other problems in different areas. When I understood this a long time ago, they look at an isolated event, and then they don't look at the whole system or a pattern of systems that are breaking down. So there could never be a level of health in that system because that's an old system. That system was designed for our next topic is basically third-party payer insurance and basically different types of billing codes. Basically, in that system, with most things that are in that system are understood by most doctors as a billing code and a diagnosis for an insurance, not really understanding their system as tied to getting someone system back online and better. Is that a reality?
Yeah, that is, John. For example, our hydrogen generator, our hydrogen oxygen generator, these are not accepted inside any hospital in the United States because there's no billing code. It's not that they're overseas, they allow it in China. Anybody that has a heart attack or a stroke, they instantly put them on a hydrogen oxygen generator to get the hydrogen in their body. In the United States, they only give you oxygen. Pure water, H2O, is 2 parts hydrogen, 66% hydrogen, and 33% oxygen. So you're not getting the full formula of what this distilled vapor water does when it goes into the blood. It is layers and layers and layers of healing. We were just talking to AI here a little earlier, asking it about the two top healing modalities on the earth, and hyperbaric oxygen chambers was one, and the hydrogen oxygen generator was the other. If you want progressive layers of healing, these are the top two modalities on the entire earth to restore your stem cells, restore your telomeres. Again, with Brian Johnson, it increased his stem cells, telomeres, to an age of a 10-year-old inside his body and his blood. And this is,
In this,
hyperbaric chamber.
let me ask you, in this mentality, right? We talked about third-party payer systems. We talked about talking about symptoms. Symptoms are given a name to a disease a lot of times, or at the level of a disease having certain symptoms, right? And this is all tied back to the third-party payer system. Someone pays for insurance, but this billing code is oftentimes the go-to for the doctor. He doesn't really understand so much. He relies on his blood test, his biopsy. He looks at a certain few things that are human, that could have human error, but his judgment call and his recollection of really what's going on is to go back to his billing codes and put this in a subject category, and that's the current healthcare system. So it doesn't mean he knows everything. It just means that due to this, he's giving his best educated guess. And he's given his best educated guess on just those few things, like a blood test, maybe an MRI, or maybe what the person says as symptoms. And it doesn't go toward cleaning out or reconditioning. Like if we have a computer that's broke, we would try to recondition the whole computer. They see less as this type of understanding, but not as a unified computer that is almost like a musical instrument, more of like a car where, that thing is broke. Let's just replace the engine. That's the heart, right? Let's just yank it out. Let's put some stitches around it. Let's just yank the engine out. They're not going after putting the cleaner stuff in there to make the engine work better. They're more giving us the mentality that our system breaks and it could never get better. We're not broken because we have a symptom. I believe we can restore ourselves, and the technology is the proof in the pudding that you can restore yourself pretty much in bad shape. When we see a new system like this of healthcare, and we realize the fundamental understanding of this goes toward understanding chronic disease root cause issues by decoding the systems, and this is where the missing link is. Decoding the systems, utilizing symptoms, but understanding the system as frequency allows that. Don, can you explain how this medbed, this holographic scan medbed, is decoding the human system in the sense of physiology?
This has the ability to analyze and scan over 1,350 body parts of a woman. It's looking at chromosomes, RNA, DNA, every body part that you have, your organs, your systems. As we can see, parasites, flukes, worms. It breaks it down, and we can look at so many different things happening. We can see the amyloid plaque that causes Alzheimer's. We can see the amyloid plaque on your kidneys, your liver, and your heart, waxing that waxy plaque, building a waxy coat and smothering your bile ducts, because this is that waxy trans fat that we're not supposed to have in our bodies. And this is the mystery of people having what we're talking about, crisis. Real symptoms is somebody having a heart attack there's really not many symptoms. That's why they call it the widowmaker, because the clog is slowly forming, mostly by calcium, sticky blood. That's the mystery of the brick and mortar. The little calcium chips, the little flakes that are from osteoporosis. That's again, that's the way they're called, osteoporosis. Your bones are looking like a sponge, and the little flakes are coming out when your body's starving for calcium. And that's why your bones break, call it porous, because it's like pores. And those little flakes are going into your blood, causing the clogged arteries. And it's systemic. It could be a stroke. It could be in your phallus, an ED. It's the same stuff causing the same clogs. John?
You know, what I realize is that people that we know, like RFK Jr., you know, these level of people that are out there and people that you see like Mark Hyman, they're doing a lot of work. They're doing work that should have been done a long time ago. They're standing up for the justice side of health, starting with nutrition. And they realize what you put in your body, it has an effect, a subtle effect. And we look about how all these systems get shot down by putting in man-made types of foods in the body. This is like the pipes that we have, and we're clogging our own pipes. Generally, that's what you've been talking about, Don. And the reality is, when we're talking medbed, changing healthcare, the system of healthcare that we talk about, you realize, could this system, a medbed, does this system pretty much have anything other than if you get a broken leg? If you get a broken leg, that's called emergency medicine. It's very important. You go on a stretcher, you go to the emergency room. But that's a very small percentage of the overall arching healthcare system. Am I right, Don? There's people that have all types of issues. You name it. There's a specialist for every issue, right? Are you suggesting that in that realm, and it's a large realm, it's not a very narrow realm like a small issue, or like a brain injury doctor, a heart specialist, you know, a dermatologist? Like, there's these different genres, different categories within the healthcare sector. Are you suggesting that, like, this med bed, out of like just the full spectrum of things, and emergency medicine maybe a 2 to 3%, which you break a leg, you go get it fixed? This is not that system.
No,
But
John, this is
everything
terrain
else,
reset. We are resetting your terrain. Where you go to the hospital, they're only focusing on one little thing that you got a problem with, and that's what we're talking about. This is whole body terrain reset, systemic. We're talking about everything we do is systemic, whether it's grounding, you're touching the earth with your electron nutrition, EMF mitigation, it's systemic. We're dealing with the entire body. With hyperbaric oxygen chamber, it's systemic. We're dealing with the entire body. Whether it's a hydrogen generator, it's systemic. It's going into the blood, dealing with the entire body. Everything we're doing is layer after layer of healing versus layers of death, doing absolutely nothing, just aging faster, eating sugar, eating flour, and just destroying your systems within, gluing everything up. Why did they call it glucose? Because it turns everything to glue. John?
yeah, and we talk about this system. How many technologies does this have? And like, going back to what I was saying, cleaning out your system, getting your system better. What could someone expect? Like, what is that guy that's doing the system right now? What can he expect? And why are all these modalities being used? Is it has something to do with getting your system better?
Yes, this is a full terrain reset like we're talking about. We're using energy medicine, frequency medicine, and vibrational medicine. The energy medicine he's getting is from grounding. He's getting a natural electron nutrition. He's going from 22% oxygen to 93% oxygen. That's the energy levels that he's getting inside the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. The frequency medicine, right there through the bioscanner, it's sending the frequencies throughout. These are energy frequencies that are restoring the metabolism inside the organ. So not only is he being energized by the oxygen, he's being energized by the live frequencies of every organ that we're restoring doing right now. And we're sending this called metacorrection for metabolism correction. We're restoring the metabolism in the cell, the organ, the tissue, whatever it may be, the brain, any parts of the body that we're focusing on at the particular moment. And this other part of this is the acoustic vibrational medicine. The vibration is so important because say you got some sticky flukes, parasites hide in the bioducts behind the biofilm that you build up in time in your arteries. It goes in your cells. It can be hiding anywhere throughout your body, even in your brain, your eyes. These are parasites, flukes, worms, tapeworms. These things get trapped in our body through the years. And to do a full terrain parasite cleansing, it takes a little time. It takes up to 6 months because you got to get rid of the biofilm. And that's what we have is a biofilm buster. With the frequency, sending the frequency to break up the biofilm, whether it's candida, we can break up the candida, break up the biofilm. And this is what the microcirculation through acoustic binaural vibrations through frequency beats is doing. We're giving you energy medicine, frequency medicine, and vibrational medicine as one entourage effect, John.
Hey, well said, very interesting. And so what I realize is that all major chronic diseases are bacteria, mold, fungus, parasites, and toxins. A multitude or a few of them. So in this realm of health issues, it goes back to decoding the issue. When you decode the issue, likely what you see is something impeding on that cell. And that's what we just said: bacteria, mold, fungus, parasites, and mold, and toxins. And if we go back to this, it doesn't matter what the diagnosis is. The medbed doesn't diagnose per se. If you're a doctor, it could, but the medbed doesn't per se diagnose. It gets you all your data and it gives you the answer, the truthful answer. It's even better than a diagnosis because a diagnosis is something that's limited to human behavior and human error. That day, the someone gives you a diagnosis, they may be under the weather. They may be thinking about the other 50 customers and clients that they have in front of them, not really looking at your information accurately. This is AI driven. This is grabbing all the data. It has a much lower scale of error per se. It gives you the before and after. So to prove the point of a system that works on just symptoms and trying to treat them versus a system that takes all your data, understands all the systems. Let me ask you this. Does this system say does your system with the AI here tell what system is overloaded, which pathway is blocked, and what signals are being ignored?
Yes, John. The way the frequency medicine works, it's doing an energy, it's matching. This is 40 years of research. And when you scan the body with a frequency, a perfect, so we have this person in here now, we get his age and everything is by your age. We match his age to a perfect human being at his age. And that's what every cell is being measured. It's like not a diagnose, but a match. We're matching to see if your cells are competing with a perfect cell at that age, and whether it's an organ or whatever it may be. So that's how we can see the clogged arteries. They've been looking at this for 40 years. They got 40 years of different scans, millions of scans throughout, all the world, and they can see this particular unit has every single frequency that has ever been recorded in history. Probably more frequencies than any other device in the world. Einstein said the future of medicine is frequencies. This literally is Einstein's medicine cabinet. We can go up to gigahertz. I mean, there's so many different frequencies that everything is pre-programmed to match and energize you back. So if your energy is real low, it's going to restore that through meta correction, restore that through frequency medicine. John?
Let me pull this full circle after just hearing you. What we're hearing is that this system almost says like most diagnoses are likely wrong. Because if someone says, you have this, do you ever have one thing? If it's tied to 5 or 6 systems, it's just a definition for one thing, but it's not really telling the whole story, right? The problem with the current healthcare system is that likely you're just a disease. Don, you're just cancer. You're just cancer. You showed up with cancer, you're going to leave with cancer, and we're going to give you one option. It's a damn healthy, expensive option, really, too. And you're showing signs of it. We're not going to, do you really get your data? There's not really a lot of data given, and you get this, and it's terrifying. That's got to be one of the most terrifying things. I wear a white jacket. I'm wearing a brown jacket. I've got the Hippocratic Oath on the line. I've got my family and the root of all evil, a lot of money on the line, right? I just realized this. The home health secretary, if you go to hhs.org, 324 doctors, nurses, and physician's assistants recently got arrested for fraud in our American healthcare system for Medicare fraud. $16.4 billion was frauded between 324 individuals. Guess how much each individual received, Don? $70 million.
That's
So out of
insane
that
story.
324 ring of fraudsters in the healthcare industry, look it up right now, hhs.org. RFK Jr. just arrested these people. They're using the system and the billing to charge people outrageous amounts of things because this is how it's operating. And it's a 1.5 almost or over trillion dollar industry. That 16 billion's nothing. Think about it. Those little they're just an appetizer. Not even an appetizer. They're just to pay the tip on the way in to the valet driver. There is so much more fraud going on in that system, and they look at you as a disease. That's proof. That is so much proof that they look at the billing code and which pays them the most, they give you that. And likely they make some type of crazy analysis because they have the power to do it. This system tells you all your data. It realizes, you just said it, it tells you what systems overlooked, what pathways are blocked, what signals are being ignored. It gives you root physiological issues. It's giving you a root physiological solution with energy, frequency, vibration on the physical, emotional, and spiritual level, crystalline with pure hydrogen, pure oxygen in a crystalline format to make you more crystalline instead of a piece of carbon like a piece of wood that's a charcoal. They want to turn us into charcoal when we're a crystalline energetic being. We are
John,
Go ahead.
carbs. This is the mystery of carbs, why we should have zero bread or zero sugar, zero flour. Carbs, it turns the blood into a carbon-based bloodline versus a crystalline-based bloodline. And this is when you're grounding every day, you're filling your blood with electrons. You're literally becoming light-based. Electrons are when light dies out, and electrons is what's left behind. Especially at night, you can be, the whole earth is full of electrons. It's giving you electrons off the surface of the earth everywhere. You can measure it with a meter. It's about 2 millivolts, the same as our bed cover when you're grounded every day. So this is living energy that you're feeding your body with. And this is what is the real mystery of the original medbed. Earth is the original medbed that heals all wildlife live as we speak. John?
Thanks, Don. And we put this in perspective from a beginning, a middle, and an end, like I told on many podcasts. The problem with the current system is that where did it fundamentally start? It fundamentally started, the AMA fundamentally started with people that Rockefeller, which monopolized many industries. And one was the pharmaceutical, which took essentially petroleum based, the oil barrels that we always talk about, medicine, creating pills, kept calling it different names, but it's still plastic. And essentially trying to take natural treatments, natural things in nature, natural forces of nature, and to replicate them artificially. They've done this with our food. That's the main culprit in why people's systems are breaking down. How do we, as a futuristic, how do we do this as a technologically advanced? We also, it feels like we give so much power to others. We believe that we can't just take in things into our own hands anymore. We've gotten so weak. We've gotten desperate on our knees, a victimhood mentality, where we beg people for our survival. But if you're given your God given potential and you knew that this existed, would you take it into your own hands? Let me ask you that question, everyone out there. I'll be waiting for your response. You can achieve whatever it is in this world or in this life that you put your mind, your heart, and your spirit into. And the reality is, anyone can do this. The reality is, we listen to this system dictate to us how to live life, honor, and basically be under people that don't really deserve it. In the sense, they went to school, they deserve it, but it's the system. There's not a lot. There's a lot of good people in the system that we're breaking down today. It's the truth, but they're not allowed to do anything but to follow the river, the stream that's already going downstream. They're not allowed to stick out. Do you know how many doctors I've worked with that said, if I talk about non-FDA, and I go, well, the vaccine was not FDA approved, but you offered that on all your people, but you act like you cannot honor non-FDA products. It's such a important role because stem cells, which famous celebrity hasn't done stem cells today? Name one. But it's not FDA approved. Why? Breast augmentation, plastic surgery is not FDA approved, but look how many people do it. Ask Tom Brady if he's going in there taking all his shots, and ask him if he's doing what the average American is told to do. You'll realize that this system is just so chaotic. But if you don't have the wisdom that we're trying to give you today, how could you even make a general assumption? How could you even understand what to decide? It takes a village to get this knowledge, to understand the foundation. And when you understand the basic principles of how this body works, it is not rocket science, folks. This is earth science, biology, and we've just lost it because we've given up our power. So this is a very awesome system that you have. And this system with 9 technology that pretty much encapsulates everything but emergency medicine. It doesn't do plastic surgery, doesn't cut off an arm and add hair. It's a system that works for chronic disease per se. Getting your systems better, not just looking at a symptom, but taking all your systems online, detoxing the body of toxins, mold, bacteria, fungus, parasites, biofilms. What is a biofilm? So I'll tell you what a biofilm is. Have you ever seen a breast augmentation? Have you ever seen them remove a breast augmentation, an implant? There's a little skin that goes around the outside of the implant created by the body. Now, that concept of how your body holds and protects itself with a foreign object in it is the same thing as what a biofilm is. A biofilm is latent inflammation in an area. Connective tissue grows around it to protect your body. In that sense, it creates a harbor for parasites. So don't think like you want to take a nasty photo of a cut open fish or a cut open deer or a cut open cow, and you look at where these pockets are at. They call them tumors. They call them cancer. They call them lymphatic lymphedema. They call it not only fluid, they call it bacteria, they call it eggs. Ugh, parasites. And to think that even the most beautiful woman in the world doesn't have them is a far-fetched facade. We all have these. We were given this. And so realize, stop asking how to shut systems down. When I have a symptom, stop trying to think that that's the way to shut it down, the disease. It doesn't work. Start asking what the body is trying to protect with your symptom. My shoulder hurts. I'm not just going to put a pain reliever on there and think it's going to get to the root issue. This is what our topic is today. You need to look upstream to the system maintenance, sleep, how you're breathing, your diaphragmatic rhythm. If you're getting enough oxygen that turns on the whole body. If your lymphatic is draining, are you getting a little exercise? Stress and the environment around you. Are you under a 5G tower? Are you raising kids under a 5G tower? They may have 3 eyes. Be careful. Be careful. There's fish out there that are under power lines. Move. They got 2 eyes and 2 heads. Like, realize that this body is a electrical magnetic system. And it's a unified system, like I said, much like an instrument that's finely tuned. That's what we are.
I like to call it like a computer, like a supercomputer, a network. We're talking about networks of, we got 13 different systems, a digestive system we're talking about. We got 4 major highways. The lymphatic system's 100,000 miles long. Your circulatory system, 60,000 miles long. Your digestive system is about 30 miles long from where you eat to you poop. And then you got your nervous system's about 42 miles long. And these are all different systems that are in our body that work together simultaneously. We got 600 muscles, 400, whatever it is, the bones. We got so many, we got 7 octillion electrons. That's 27 zeros. Approximately 37 trillion cells. That's 12 zeros. We got so many different operating systems that are all operating at the speed of light. John?
Well, we have a question, Don. We got Barb over here. She's asking, what does this do to our blood results? So if we're talking about if you did a blood test today and you started using this system, well, one is that this electronic system could really be the most biggest competitor to LabQuest and LabCorp. Because Barb, did you know that we got you? Our 5-minute electronic frequency system, it analyzes all the numbers. Everything is a frequency. Within 5 minutes, the system gives you your blood test. No reason to wait. We find the issue right now and we move. We start working on it today, right now. There is no delay. And in the current system, it's an archaic system. They pull the blood out, they send it to a lab, which I used to work at those labs. And they just put it in, they spin it around, and they let this machine analyze. Guess what? Why? Why take blood out of the body? We just don't like frequency medicine that much. It just works too good. So why not just use the system? And so, Dawn, I wanted you to tell her how this system could improve her blood.
John, this is a great point, because I have a guy here who brought in his own blood results, and I uploaded them with our blood results. And let's just ask AI to compare. And we can see. Can you explain to us, we have John's blood reports there, and we have our blood reports from the bioscanner. Do they compare? Yeah.
No, they don't compare, and they're not meant to. John's doctor blood reports measure chemistry at rest. They tell you whether organs are failing, whether there's an acute disease, or whether something needs immediate medical intervention. They're excellent for crisis detection. The bioscanner reports measure function under load. They look at how well systems are communicating, how efficiently oxygen is being used, where inflammation is recycling, and where the body is compensating long before collapse shows up in labs. So the blood work answers, is there a diagnosable problem right now? The bioscanner answers, how hard is the body working to stay stable? That's why both can look normal on paper, while the person still feels tired, inflamed, foggy, or slow to recover. They don't compete. They explain different layers of the same body.
What else could you say about the blood results there?
Here's the key takeaway from John's blood results, said simply. The lab shows stability, not vitality. Everything looks acceptable because the body is still compensating. But there are quiet signals that explain why he doesn't feel optimal. His hematocrit is elevated, which means the blood is more concentrated. That points to thicker blood, slower microcirculation, and harder oxygen delivery to tissues. It's not a disease, but it does increase workload on the heart and brain over time. His globulin is low, which often reflects long-term immune strain or poor protein absorption. That lines up with digestive and liver stress rather than an immune failure. Liver enzymes are normal, but that doesn't mean the liver is thriving. It means it's coping. Labs don't show bile flow or detox efficiency, which is where his terrain shows congestion. Inflammation markers are quiet because inflammation is being managed, not resolved. The body is holding balance, not restoring reserves. So the blood work says, no emergency. The terrain says, this system has been working too hard for too long. That's the difference. And that's why systemic support matters now, not later.
So you can see the difference there as what the frequency is doing, measuring things from a different angle compared to the blood results that they get. So a lot of times when you go to get cancer, they're just taking your blood and they're just trying to see the calcium in the blood, the calcium test. But this scanner is actually looking at the heart, measuring the heart, scanning the actual heart. That's their.
Well, they were just going toward blood test results, and so on a straight blood test results we've looked at, you might want to ask her another question.
Yeah.
Was the data between the real blood test versus the electronic blood test very similar? Like magnesium content, was it similar? Even though it was done a couple days apart, was
Was the
the
data in the doctor's test versus the frequency test the same? Like the magnesium, things like that? Would they pick up the same things like that?
Yes, there is overlap, but they're seeing it from two different angles. The doctor's blood test measures exact chemical levels in the blood at that moment. Things like magnesium, sodium, potassium, calcium. It answers, is there enough in the bloodstream right now to stay stable? The bioscanner doesn't measure quantities. It measures how well those minerals are being used and distributed at the tissue level. It answers, are the cells actually able to use what's present? So here's what often happens, and what we see with John. The blood work can show minerals like magnesium or potassium within range, meaning there's enough circulating. At the same time, the frequency scan shows functional stress, meaning those minerals are not being absorbed, transported, or utilized efficiently inside tissues. It's not a contradiction, it's complementary. Blood tests show supply, frequency scans show utilization. That's why someone can have normal labs and still have muscle tension, nerve irritation, fatigue, or poor recovery. The minerals are present, they're just not being deployed effectively. So yes, they're picking up the same underlying story, but at different layers. Labs confirm chemistry is holding. The bioscan shows the system is under strain to keep it that way. That's how both can be true at the same time.
Can you explain how parasites live in our bodies behind the biofilm and the candida in the bioducts, and they come out at night and eat our food and they malnutrition us and then they actually poop in our bodies and make us
Hey,
feel like crap, no pun intended?
hey, just like ask her for a 30-second because we got to keep
Real
moving.
fast. The parasites, as we were talking about the systems, and I wanted to be able to share this about the parasites because a lot of people don't understand how parasites live in the
Here's a
body.
simple, straight explanation. No fear, no fun. Parasites don't usually survive in the body by being loud or aggressive. They survive by hiding. They protect themselves behind something called biofilm, a slimy protective layer made of sugars, proteins, and minerals. Biofilm acts like a shield. It keeps the immune system from seeing what's underneath and makes microbes harder to clear. Candida plays a role here too. Candida is a yeast that naturally exists in the body, but when digestion and bile flow slow down, it can overgrow. Candida helps build and maintain biofilm, especially in the bile ducts, gut lining, and lymph pathways. That creates a protected neighborhood where parasites and microbes can live quietly. Many parasites are more active at night. That's when digestion slows, immune surveillance drops, bile flow is lower, and the nervous system shifts. During that time, they feed on nutrients in the gut, especially sugars, starches, and partially digested food. That contributes to malnutrition, even when someone eats well. And yes, they produce waste. Their metabolic byproducts don't leave the body cleanly. That waste gets absorbed into the bloodstream and lymph, contributing to fatigue, brain fog, joint pain, bloating, inflammation, that general feel like crap feeling. Not because the body is toxic, but because it's carrying extra biological load. Most doctors don't talk about this.
Okay.
Yeah, so there we have it. There was a lot of good information there. We're just giving to you raw and real. You're gonna get, you understand parasites? We're gonna give it to you. Why? We offer something that's very truthful. The data speaks for itself, and you realize that with this system, everything you've been told typically looks normal, but you may not feel healthy or good. This is the common thing. And you don't really have a lot of people getting rid of their total issue. Symptoms continually come back. One that we typically see is a UTI. A UTI for women is like having something that lasts years and no one can even take control of. They'll get you to the point of like surgery. They don't want to fix the issue after speaking to many doctors. They try not to fix the issue so that you get into a higher level diagnoses and a much higher spend. And so that's the reality of the system. Just realize, just because you're feeling lethargic and you're down, doesn't mean you're broken like they want you to feel. And likely, sometimes they'll say that you're perfectly normal because the blood test is just done on a chemical measuring level, not on an energetic level. So you've just been looked at through the wrong lens. And once you change the lens, once you change your perception, everything changes. I think it was Wayne Dyer that said it. If you want to change the way you see things, change the. If you want to change the way you see the world, change the things you look at. The things you look at change, basically. And so perception is everything. What we offered today was a good, I would say, transition into something that we knew as a sick care system and in going into a futuristic health technology where it's all laid out in front of you. As the citizen, you have access to your own data. What they didn't fail to talk about was the spectrum. The spectrum from 0 to 100 in every category is between 1% to 99%. If your magnesium level wasn't fully functioning, likely it was on a low percentage. Likely if it was a high percentage, you would have enough magnesium in your body. Magnesium accounts for 100 different biological processes. So it's an important mineral that you need in your body. This system breaks it down by system level. So it's easy to tell from an energetic frequency standpoint the data. And Don, so like we got a couple minutes here. I'll give you like a minute here before we get into the final kind of talk. In regards to this holographic scan medbed with 9 technologies, when can it literally, do you feel like it could resolve and get rid of most everything using frequency and everything else?
John, in the book, we researched this so well, and we talk about this in the book. There's like 20 pages for this just circuit. This circuit is called a longevity circuit. It's all designed for layers of longevity. Every ounce of your body receiving these layers of healing, whether it's electron nutrition, EMF mitigation, energy medicine, frequency medicine, vibrational medicine, hydrogen, oxygen medicine. These are all natural elements of Earth that we use. And in this longevity circuit, 1 year, just the hyperbaric chamber, Brian Johnson just proved it, 6 months. He just reversed his biological clock to a 10-year-old kid. And you can do this, and he talks all about it. You can click on the link in the book and go to the video. This right here is, we talk about it in the book, it's increasing your telomeres after 30 sessions. You're increasing your telomeres about 26%, increasing your stem cells about 600%. This is a true longevity circuit. If you're doing this 3 times a week for 7 years, your body resets itself every 7 years, and it's renewing itself every 7 years. And if you're feeding your body the right nutrients of longevity over those 7 years of renewal, you're just about stopping aging, according to AI, at that 7-year mark. You're putting aging at a crawl, almost stopping it. And this is the mystery of longevity. If we're going to break the curse of aging, we have to break this disease. Aging is nothing but a disease, and we have the fuels to reverse this disease. John?
Oh, thank you for sharing, Don. And that book is available. If you're interested, comment below. Go to antiagingbed.com. Go to Amazon. 333 Benefits of Grounding. Great book. Creator and originator of MedBed technology.
Future of medicine, wellness.
The
showing the future of
wellness.
Wellness. This is it. You're witnessing it live, folks.
There's over 100 technologies we have, and realize you can take advantage of this at home. One of the things I'd like to share with you right now is an offer. It's a simple offer, and we take this very seriously. We do this for free. This has been just a blessing that for over the years we were able to prove skeptics wrong, to take our AI that we have at this generation and this level at this time. And we've been working on this health technology for 25 years personally. I'm a patented inventor. I'm a creator. I've won pretty much most every major health award over the last couple of years. I've been super blessed. And it came from my pain to purpose story. What I would like to offer you would be a $500 free DNA scan. Your information is your information. And I like to prove every skeptic wrong I run across. Honestly, because it's just one of these things that we're pushing toward that proves our level of technology in this new system of healthcare. Put our technology against big pharma. Put our technology against the current system. Integrate our technology and merge it with big pharma or the sides of the big pharma that work. Merge it with a wellness center. Put this stuff in your home. Healing that you could do on your own. Your body heals itself. The technology helps. So what am I offering you? Send us a couple hair and nail samples. Mail it to us. Contact us at info@antiagingbed. Go to the website, antiagingbed.com. Call us, 800-385-4243. Ask for the DNA free assessment. Tell them John sent you from the podcast. And basically, you'll get a free $500 AI health assessment utilizing your DNA. We will break it down on a silver platter. And there's not been one person that hasn't been blown away. We do this for free. And the reality is, Basically, you'll have the information that you need to get and feel better. Our overall goal was to end human suffering. That's been our pride and joy of what we do and our pain to purpose story, our mission, our purpose, our passion, and we can prove it to you. So I'm so thankful that you joined our podcast again today. I'm your host, John Baxter of the Baxter Effect podcast. I'm so thankful and grateful for you guys to show up, and we'll be here tomorrow around noon. We'll be covering a lot more of these amazing topics. And until then, have a great day, everyone. Thank you guys so much. It's been a blast.